Hello, lovely people of YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button to get more acting tips. And today I want to talk about emotions. So emotions and accessing emotions is, if not the most, one of the most pressing issues that actors have and ask questions about. Now, as actors, we want to be able to access all the feelings and really tap into them especially for scenes when your character is really going through something serious, something larger than life, something bigger than the reality in which you are actually in. So what I mean by that is you might casually be on set having a nice day, but your character is going through something really horrendous for them. So how do you tap into that emotion when you're having a perfectly nice day? So today I want to talk about one thing that actually really helps, and it is another perspective flip, but it's a different perspective flip to my other perspective flip video, which is all about shifting your focus outwards instead of looking at yourself. And this is not to think about the emotion. So when let's say you need to be really sad and you want to cry, and that's the bar you've set for yourself, and you want to really access this deep pain and sadness that your character is feeling, I want you to not worry about accessing any of those emotions, because when you think about accessing the emotion and think about crying, you're not really aligned to what it is that your character is going through, and the pressure and stress that you put on yourself trying to achieve that goal can really block you. So instead of actually feeling the emotion and finding yourself in the moment and connected to what your character's going through, you might find yourself in the scene, on set or on stage, just thinking, oh my gosh, I need to cry. Oh my gosh, when are the tears coming? I'm still not crying, oh my gosh. And that stress of not crying and not being that upset takes you out of the scene. It makes you watch yourself, and then the pressure to cry and the tension to cry can actually stop the emotions from flowing organically. So basically, don't think about the emotion. And instead, I want you to try an exercise where instead of trying to access that emotion and show that emotion, I want you to do the opposite and try to hide that emotion. So if your character is, let's use the same example, if your character is really sad and is trying to cry, or you're trying to cry because you think your character's really sad, instead I want you to think, hold it together, do not cry. And that's what I want you to focus on. You can even repeat it in your head as you do the scene, and then see what happens. Let's pay attention afterwards to how much this opened up the emotion to you. Now, the reason why I'm saying to do the opposite of what what the actor is trying to get to is because I want you to do this exercise where you align your intentions with that of the characters. So as the actor, your intention or your goal might be to look like a great actor and therefore cry really well in the scene. But that is not what the character's going through or where the character's head is at. If the character is feeling really sad and emotional, look at the context in which they're in. They might not be able to show their emotion. They might really be trying to hold it together. If you think about times when you have been really struggling with something, the chances are the last thing you are thinking about is showing that emotion. And when an emotion is really so big, you are really trying your best to contain it and to not let it overtake you. And so weirdly and quite amazingly, thinking in that way and aligning your thoughts with the characters more authentically in trying to perhaps suppress the emotion or hide the emotion from the other people can be a key into opening it up. So in the same way, if your character is really angry and you think as the actor, right, I really need to show anger here, ask yourself if that is what your character is really thinking. Is your character's head at, oh, I really need to show how angry I am? Or is the anger overtaking them and they're trying their very best to hold it together and to keep the anger in? Now, when you flip it into that way and you really try and contain a feeling, it starts to want to come out of its own accord. It's quite amazing. So I want you to try that as an exercise. I want you to try next time you have a scene where your character is very vulnerable emotionally, instead of thinking to yourself, I want to show that emotion. When you're doing the scene, I want you to think that you need to do everything you can to keep it together. And then I want you to comment below and tell me how it worked for you. So this is all about seeing the world as your character does, and taking away that self-consciousness of whether you're doing a good job or not. Because essentially when you're thinking, am I angry enough, or am I showing that I'm sad enough, it's about the showing rather than being. And your head is in a space where you're worrying about what other people think of you rather than really being in sync with what your character is feeling. So yes, do that exercise, comment below, and I'd love to hear how it works for you. We all have different processes and different things work for us, so let's use this as a space where we could share our discoveries and our growth together. Also, I am just about to start my second group of the 6-week Rediscover Your Fire challenge. So the 6-week Rediscover Your Fire challenge is something I started a couple of months ago, and I had an amazing founding group, and it's a 6-week deep dive into connecting with your craft. So it's really for any actor that feels frustrated, feels like they're out of touch with their craft, feels like they're not practicing their craft regularly, and it's just feeling a bit stuck, and maybe the passion and the fire has dwindled a little bit, and they know they had it and they just can't seem to find that fire again. This program is for that exact feeling. It's to get that fire back in you, that passion, that ownership, that creativity back in your craft, that really wide-eyed exploration and deep delve into your craft. So what we do during the 6 weeks is we look at different exercises from voice, movement and acting, looking at different practitioners and different ways of getting into your process, different ways of approaching a scene, so you can really see what resonates with you and what works well with you. Then we'll be having one-to-one sessions, me and you, each week, and also we'll be having a group session together so that we can really discuss and digest everything that we've learned during the week and learn from each other, because everyone has a different perspective. So someone will pick up something that you didn't pick up, and you all really magnify your learning by sharing your experiences with each other. And you will also get a WhatsApp accountability group, because one of the biggest things I think that actors face in committing to their craft or committing to regular exercises is the lack of structure or accountability that might exist between jobs. So this WhatsApp group is really to make sure that you have that accountability and that you know that you are staying committed and really dedicating your time to yourself and your craft and finding that passion again. And you also get a Shakespeare Monologue Handout booklet, which is so you just have monologues that you can dive into straight away, that you can just sink your teeth into some amazing text and just get going. Because it's so frustrating when you want to do a scene and you can't find anything to work on. So this way you've got stuff to work on straight away. And then you also get a mindset shift ebook, which is all about making you feel empowered and knowing that you have control and ownership of your own artistry and craft. So that felt like a long speech there, but if you want to get involved with this program, I am holding free strategy sessions to get conversations going with people over the next week. So comment below with work out my craft, And I'm also going to pop a link into the description box below where you can find out the next step. There's just a quick form to fill out, and then we can book in a session where you and I can get chatting about your craft and where you want to go forward. So I can't wait to meet some of you guys soon and hear about your acting journeys and sharing your experience and hopefully work together. And yes, I hope you're all having a lovely day and that you're feeling inspired, and that this tip on accessing emotions really unlocks something within you. So make sure as soon as you do the exercise to comment below how it worked for you and how it felt and changed your scene. And remember to hit subscribe and like the video if you liked it, and I will see you next time. Have a great week. Bye.